Hey everyone, it's Michelle here. Today I'm going to show you how you can use your washi tape and pattern paper scraps to create a bunch of cards using this card design that you see here. So I'm just showing you a finished card that I already made, and I'll be walking you through the process of creating a few more cards so that we can create a whole set. So first of all, I'm going to show you how I'm picking out all of my supplies. So I have my box of a bunch of washi tape rolls, and you can see I have a good sized collection here. I'm sure some of you have more or less, but you can pretty much just use what you have and it'll work out because you don't need that many rolls. So what I'm doing is I have this box of washi tape and I also have some pattern paper scraps. So this is a great time to use up any scraps you have from, say, a 6x6 paper pad. A lot of times I use my papers to create a base, and then I have a strip of paper left, which will be perfect for this. And you can also pull out your scrap basket like I did. So I just went through my collection, and what I do is I try to find 2 or 3 rolls of washi tape that have the same colors as a couple of patterned papers. And the trick here is to try to pick washi tape that has different widths because this will really create more variety in your card and not make it so plain and boring. So I also picked out some pattern papers that matched, and I like to stick to pattern papers that have maybe 1 or 2 colors because that makes it easier to match with the washi tape. But if you want, you could go more colorful if you're going for a more bright look. So I'm taking the first piece of pattern paper I have, I'm taking the largest pattern, and this tends to be the one that I like to have multiple colors as well. And I'm just cutting it down to 4 1/4 and creating a diagonal cut along the bottom. And this just creates a little more interest in our design. We'll have everything kind of at this angle on the card. So I also really like this pattern paper. This one is from Dear Lizzie. I like it because it has the design in a stripe that will go with the whole design of the card. So I'm just cutting it down so that one of those little chevron stripes will fit perfectly on the front. And you can see this will just tuck right under the other pattern paper and the angle will be exactly the same. So I'm just going to adhere those down right now so that they're not moving around while I add more elements to the card. And after I have these 2 strips taped down, now is the time to take out my washi tape to complete more stripes. So I'm just again using colors that match, and I'm going to try to alternate it so you can see that the pattern paper stripe I use was a teal color, and then I'm going to try to alternate it with a yellow, and then at the bottom bring it back together with a teal washi tape. And this one is really cool because it's actually a shaped washi tape that my friend gave me, and that one just adds even more interest. So I'm going to turn that around and trim off all the edges, which is just really easy to do with a scissor. And then I'm going to rub down the washi tape. Since washi tape tends to be removable, I want to make sure this really stays put. So you can use a bone folder. I just use the back of my palette knife because that's what I had on hand, just to smooth it down. So for the little monsters that I have on these circles, I took out 2 stamp sets from the Alleyway Stamps, and I'll link you to the actual stamp sets in my blog post. And some of them I've already colored, but I'll just walk you through really quickly how I colored in 2 more of these. So I stamped this in My Favorite Things hybrid ink so that it won't bleed with Copic markers. So I went ahead and stamped one of those monsters, and I took out just a few colors of Copic markers that will kind of match with the colors that I used in the washi tape. So for the one on the left, since I used yellow washi tape, I'm going to be coloring that in with yellow. And for the one on the right, I'm using kind of a greenish color. The washi tape I used on the card is teal, but since I don't have any teal markers, green is close enough for me. So I'm just doing some really simple blending, and again, you can just use any kind of media you want, color pencils or even watercolors, just whatever you have on hand. So I'm just going to turn on some music and speed this up, and I'll come back when I'm finished coloring. So now that my little monsters are all colored in, I'm going to add in a sentiment on the bottom right corner that I purposely left empty. So you can see on my block I have birthday wishes mounted, and I put this sentiment together by taking the wishes from this stamp set that you see here, and I cut the monster off of the top of it so that I could just have that one word. And then for birthday, I pulled that from this stamp set, which is a smaller sentiment stamp set. Again, I'll link you to those in my blog post. So for the card on the right, I pulled out a navy ink that matches with some of the paper and washi tape I used, and I just went ahead and stamped that. And then for the card in the middle, since it's a darker cardstock that I used as the base, I wanted to heat emboss it so that it would actually show up. And I'm doing this in Ranger liquid platinum embossing powder. And I also went ahead and rubbed some of my Versamark ink on the edges of the circle, and I put embossing powder on that as well. And this will just give more definition to the edges of this little piece. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that up, and before I heat set that, I'm going to go ahead and do something similar with the rest of these circles. I took the same navy ink and used my ink blending tool to create some definition on the edges of that. And then for the card on the left, I pulled out more of a teal color to match with those pattern papers more. And I'm going to do the same thing and ink up the edges. And I think this just makes the circles pop up more from the bases that we made, since they're a little busy with all of the different patterns. So I went ahead and heat embossed that sentiment on the card on the right, and then I'm adhering all of these circle pieces with foam squares so that it adds a little more dimension. And I kind of altered where the circle went on each of these cards. You can see some are on the right and some are on the left. There isn't really any rhyme or reason to it, but I thought it would just be fun to mix it up a little bit. So here you can see the complete set of cards that I've created. And you can really create so many different styles and looks based on your personal collection and what you have on hand. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I know that a lot of us have a big collection of scraps and washi tape, and hopefully this gives you an idea of ways you can use that up. So here on this screen you can see a few links to past videos that I've done for the alleyway stamps. Make sure to check those out, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as the alleyway stamps YouTube channel. Again, you can find more information about the supplies I use in this video at the blogs listed below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.